And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the TrichomeChasers TV Seed Junky episode 1, season 2. We brought it back. We're gonna bring back a couple different episodes that we used to do. The no-till, all the organic. We're gonna bring all those back this year. And so be looking forward to it. Show up every week. Be here, be square. I guess that's what they say. But tonight's guest, we have a couple guests. Right now we have Mr. Frank Yeska, Mr.
Hey,
Frosty.
what's going on, everybody?
Mr. Frosty Beans himself. We got him on the TrichomeChasers TV. So and I see we got my man Dirty D on the panel.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? Mr. Frank, thank you for coming on, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's see. Right now, I see we got 18 watching, 14 thumbs up. Yo, what's up, Mr. Who we got up in here? I see Mr. Unorthodox but addictive. We got him. We got Mando. What's up? I think I ran into Mando the other night. What's good with you, Mando? I think you was on Yeska's Frank's live stream. I think he was in the chat tonight.
I'm still trying to get to because this won't let me see the chat.
That's El Mando 420.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah. What's up with you, Condo Grower? We got 710 Canuck, Mr. Janishi, GB Auto. We got you up in the crib, Reels. I don't know if you guys are still up in here, but shout out to the chat for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. I see Kind Dreams. I see she brought herself up in here tonight. Veterans Cannabis Channel. How you doing today, brother? Mr. MWG 420. What it do? All right. So yeah, we wanted to bring back a couple, episodes that we used to do in the past. Seed Junkies, like I was saying, the Seed Junkies, no-till, organic. And tonight in our Seed Junkies episode, we got Mr. Frank Yeska, as I was saying before. And hopefully create genetics. Hopefully they'll show up tonight. So hopefully we're gonna have a pretty good show tonight. So let me see. Palm Side Extract. What's good with you, fam? How you doing, man? What's good with you? Tony Baloney. Yes, sir. Thanks for showing up. All right, so Mr. Yeska, let's go ahead and start. Let's start, man.
Okay. So what we were talking, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but we were talking about that greenhouse, right? What I think would be good because it snows where you're at, and it probably gets pretty hot sometimes in the summertime, right? Especially it's getting hotter and hotter. Everybody knows that. So what I was telling you to do is to get a backhoe, right? You dig a big pit and you do an underground greenhouse. So you can either do basically you want to do either a hoop house or a triangle, basically a regular triangle roof, so that the water runs off of it, and then you can do some little like ditches along the side to let your water run off. Anyways, but underneath you want it to be about a 6 foot deep pit, and that's that way you got some headroom and you can grow some good sized plants. But by doing so, it will help you regulate your temperature year round. So you'll be able to grow year round in your greenhouse. Now, if you were to do light deprivation, and it'd be easier as well because you won't have a super tall ceiling, to cover up when you're doing light dep in the middle of the summer, or if in the wintertime, if you're trying to veg out, you can cover it completely up so your neighbors can't see you with, fucking lights inside of your greenhouse type of stuff, because any light that you light up inside of that greenhouse will refract off of the plastic in the greenhouse, the actual plastic of the greenhouse, and that shit will light up. I swear it's like a giant glow stick. It's crazy.
You say they'll be able to see you. They'll be able to see you from way up in the sky, huh?
Yeah, for miles, dude. It's crazy.
Hey, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it, man, and I don't know much about it. But the light depot that you was talking about, explain that people in the chat and myself that may not know what that is. Can you explain that to us?
Basically, I mean, instead of how you have your lights, and sorry, I'm also rolling a blunt here at the same time, but you have your lights, and you set your timer to 12:12, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
You do the same. You can do the exact same thing with tarps. You can either go outside and every day and at a certain time you uncover the greenhouse and you cover up the greenhouse to create the 12-12, and you can crank out up to 3 to 4 harvests sometimes in one season, one summer. Shut up. Hold on, my dogs are over here fucking growling. Come on, dog. Come on, midget. Come this way. Maximus wants to be part of the show here. Come on, come up. Maximus, look how big this dog is next
I
to me.
see
Come
him.
here,
Look at that
Come here.
head. Look at that head. Let me present you to everybody so everybody can see Maximus.
He already laying down his big fat ass. You can't even see him. He's a 180-pound dog. I'm already putting this thing down.
Mm-hmm. So
But,
you say he running about 180, huh?
Yeah, he's 180 pounds. Giant breed.
Yep, that's them cane corsos, man. They get up there. Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just like doing 12-12. Instead of using lights, you're using the sun and you're using the tarp to create your darkness. So, I've seen many different ways of doing it where, like I was telling you earlier, my buddy has it's just a regular wooden shed and he cut little slit in it, and then he reinforced that where the slit is and everything with 2x4, so it's a really thin slit, and then he put like foam in between there basically so bugs don't crawl in between, and the plastic basically slides in and out of that little slit, right? So on either side of the shed on the outside he has these rollers, and he got the black plastic and he got the clear plastic and he mended them together, so when he rolls this one it goes clear, and when he rolls this one it goes dark. So he goes out there every day, and then on the inside it kind of droops in the middle, so he uses these clamps to fasten the center of the tarp.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And like I was telling you also, light deprivation also, it helps you save electricity because you're using the sun. Normally you have to use, lighting and all kinds of stuff in your indoor grows to make it happen. But in a greenhouse, you're using the sun. So before, in order for me to crank out the amount that I need, I was spending close to $10,000 a month on electricity. Now, I can crank out the exact same amount, but all I'm doing now is vegging indoors, and my bill this month was $1,400, and the reason why is because it's been cold as hell, and I've been having to use heaters both in my home and in the greenhouse and in the veg room.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm definitely going to be trying some of that out.
It really makes a big difference, and the quality also, it really gets up there too.
So hey, so give us a little, if you don't mind, man, give us a little history about yourself. Your grow history.
Well, my grow history. Well, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just take you all the way back. Fuck it. I started growing around like 14 years old, trying to fucking plant, just like anybody else, trying to plant some shit, goofing around, whatever, right? Well, in high school, I finally figured out that, certain time frames is when it really cranks, right? Summertime, end of summer. If you plant them too early, somebody will find them and all that. So I figured all that shit out real quick. And I started planting strips in the cornfields. And then whenever it was like August time frame, I'd go out there, plant them, they'd flower out, and I'd get sometimes they'd get popped, sometimes I'd pick them up or whatever, and it was cool. Sometimes I got a little harvest, and we got to smoke and all that cool shit. And then I grew up, things happened, life, whatnot, and then one day my buddy and I were trying to clean up his daughter's bedroom, and we noticed there was something wrong with the drywall, right? Mm-hmm. So we were like, all right, we can't have your daughter sleeping here if there's mold or something behind this drywall. So let's see what the fuck's going on. We'll replace the drywall. Cut down the drywall. There was a whole big ass attic room. It was like huge. We didn't even know it was there because we were renters, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we figured out that was there, and we started growing and throwing plants in there and trying to do our thing. It was funky. We were growing some boo-boo, but we were doing it, you know what I mean?
Right.
We were doing it. And so one day we come home, and we were doing security at the time, and we were doing security in San Francisco. And we had to drive all the way back across the bridge to Oakland and shit. And we get home, we walk inside, and there's fucking water dripping from the fucking living room ceiling. Oh my God, dude, we fucking ran out there. The whole fucking room was flooded, all kinds of stupid shit, because we left the water running, fucked up the whole shit, whatever. But after that dude that I was living with started smoking meth, so I joined the Marines. And you know what I mean? Joined the Marine Corps, did my time, got out, fucking worked for the Air Force for 6 years, and got away from that. After I hurt my back, I was not trying to deal with the pills and shit. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a portion. I took in between there, those two things, there was a 1 year gap, and I was working for a major seed company. I don't want to mention their name, but we had a 40 light. This dude had to set up a 40 light warehouse, 100 light warehouse, right? And then we set up a mansion, and we were getting ready to set up a loft. Right. And we're fucking doing all this shit, and everything's going good, whatever. And dude wants to go legit. So he's like, all right, well, he pays all these fucking license fees and yada, 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 and has city workers walking through the 100 light warehouse, fucking eyes all open, big mouths all open, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? These are city workers, and they're fucking walking through there. They got sheriff and everything, and they like welcomed them over there, and everything's going good. Everything's going smooth. We're all doing our jobs. Everything's going fucking great. And this motherfucker doesn't pay the rent on any of the places. None of them. Not the two warehouses, not the mansion, not the loft, none of it. Doesn't pay shit. And then, knowingly, his fucking dispensaries got shut down. And then he knew that and didn't tell nobody. And then goes and borrows more money, acting like he's gonna do yada, pay the bills and all this other bullshit, and then pay them back when we cut down. He fucking disappeared, bro, for a while. He's still in the industry. Everybody knows him. Everybody sees him. But yeah, he's something else, dude. And nobody wants to be everybody thinks, that he's real cool and he's real awesome and everything, and nobody wants to be the one to beat his ass because he's, semi-famous.
Right.
But yeah, I did that, and from there, I just been growing for myself, indoor mostly, 1,000 watts.
That's crazy, man. That's insane, bro.
That's pretty much it. That's all I've been doing. Now I just, I do it for myself because I'm disabled. I don't like the pills. You feel?
So when did you decide that you wanted to start? Once you started growing and everything, and you started getting more experience, and when did you decide that you wanted to start making your own strains, own genetics?
Actually, I actually had not decided to do my own. I actually got thrown into the breeding game working for this guy, right, that I was just talking about. And it's actually funny because I see the strains that I made in other people's gardens, and I'm like, you know what I mean? But I don't say nothing because it's not my strain. It was his company. It was all his shit. I just, I was the grower. And but I got into breeding because of him, and then he put in an order, right? He told me, I want you to make your own strain, and I want you to, do your thing. I was like, all right. So I dropped a feminized strain, and it was the Escalade Kush. But this dude disappeared again right around that same time frame when the Escalade Kush was completed and everything and tested, and I had like half a mason jar full of seeds, and dude just disappeared on me, and I fucking spent all this money trying to make these seeds, feminized and everything, tested. It was a 4,000 watt room, air conditioning, dehumidifiers, you know, the full CO2, everything. And he just bounced on me basically. So I turned around and gave away all the seeds to the community. All they had to do was pay the shipping. And, you know, people on here will tell you, El Mondo actually has some of them. But yeah, man, I gave away all those seeds, half a mason jar full, to the community. So that's what happened to all those Escalade Kush seeds.
Okay. So it wasn't something
That's crazy, man.
that you wanted to do in the beginning, just something that just kind of like happened and you just ran with it.
Right. And so now I'm basically just doing it for myself to enjoy, you know, breeding and finding new strains. Cause I mean, we all know that after so long, a mother can only be a mother so long. If you don't refresh your genetics, you know what I mean? Your shit gets tired. And so I don't want to spend, you know, all the time hunting down new strains and hunting this and doing this. And I'd rather just have my own shit.
Right.
And if other people are interested in the strains, then cool. But I'm not tripping if they are, or they're not, you know?
Right. No, I totally understand that. Totally get it. So I had a question for you. Or Daniel, or if anybody else in the chat got a question, or Daniel, if you got anything you want to ask him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I received some pollen. All right. So walk me through the steps of what I should do. Like, is there any type of preparations that I should make before I pollinate one that's in flower right now? Or, you know, just walk me through what would be the best way.
Now, my question to you is how was the pollen sent to you? Was it properly dried prior to?
Oh, yeah.
Did they throw? Okay. Because oftentimes people will throw pollen into a plastic bag and then ship it to you, and it becomes inert when they do that. So you always, pretty much more than often than not, you got to ship in paper so that it doesn't retain moisture, because moisture will neutralize the pollen.
Okay.
But yeah, from there, you could just take a feather or a paintbrush, or you could just fucking dump it on there, or whatever you want, you know, however you want to disperse it. If you're doing a whole room, you could put a fan and just, you know, dump it in front of the fan so that it in an upward motion so that it goes and stretches across the room.
Okay. All right. So like when you pollinate, okay, like this particular method that I'm using or that I'm doing since the pollen was sent to me, actually was sent to me in a vial, and it has a Q-tip. It's just enough to pretty much pollinate probably 1 or 2, maybe 3 different bud sites. All right. So
you just take it out of there and rub it around on the pistils. Gently rub the pistils.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Kind of stroke the pistils a little bit. You don't want to damage the pistils to where you're breaking them. That's what you don't want to do.
Okay. All right.
Other than that, it's pretty simple. You just kind of massage the pistils. If you look close enough, there's actually tiny little, on each white hair, there's lateral hairs, little tiny ones going sideways on those. And those are the little hairs that are picking up the actual pollen.
Gotcha.
So that's what you're trying to do.
Got you. Oh yeah, that's yeah. I gotta create genetics. Hopefully they're gonna be able to show here shortly. He basically blessed me with some pollen. Originally we were going to use it on the strawberry milkshake, but they had some personal issues that they had to take care of, so the timing was bad. I wound up harvesting the strawberry milkshake. So he said, well, I'm still going to send it. So I was running another strain of his, which is the electric diesel. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the electric diesel, which is East Coast Sour Diesel times Wi-Fi Alien OG. So I'm going to put that in what the pollen that he sent me is Tangerine times Purple Punch. So I'm going to put that on that electric diesel.
That's nice.
What I can come up with. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, man. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, man, I just figured, hey, it wasn't like I'm trying to get in the seed game or the breeding game yet. You never know what Buffalo might do down the road. But I figured, hey, why not go ahead and try it out and see what we could do. But I like what you said though about about like, you know, buying, going out and searching for all these and keeping up with the new and different things like that. I like what you said. So what these auctions, we've had this discussion randomly around on our live stream before, but your opinion, since you are doing this and you're gaining more knowledge and you're very, you know, to me, you're very intelligent about this plan, like you've been doing it long enough. These seed auctions, give me your take on these seed auctions, the ones that's going crazy like.
To be honest with you, I don't even know anything about them. I haven't. I mean, it's I guess if it's a reputable source and you know you're willing to pay what they're asking, you know, then do your thing. But I mean, personally, I'm not gonna go out there and pay. You know, you seen those packs going for like $300 to $500 for a fucking 10-pack of seeds?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And then they auction. Okay, so Symbiotic came out with the Purple Punch, the Banana Punch, Mimosa, the Kobe, different things like that. The Wedding Cake, Wedding Crashers, different things like that. They're already selling them for like $200, right? So then these auctions, so they say, you know, they said that they were at the time. Now they're really stressing the fact. But before they were just saying, yeah, we're only selling. You can only get maybe 2 packs per person at the time. But we know people that's become, you know, people come up out of there with like 5, 10 packs. They run and they keep 1 pack and then they wind up doing an auction. And where the auction goes, $500, $600, $700 for a pack for the pack that they paid $200 for. That's why that's one other reason why I was going to bring Create on, because like you, when you buy Create Genetics, when you buy this strain, they're reasonable price and they're fire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, that's fire. Their strains are fire, dude, and you can buy them and they're, I mean, beyond reasonable. That was one of the, you know, yeah, he have some that's like $100, but those are more than likely the older genetics that people want, something that's worth, you know what I mean? It's not like that, it was something they wanted. So, but and that's what I wanted to commend you on, because I seen it with the ones yours was selling. I'm like, man, dude, why aren't there more people in the industry like you guys? You know what I'm saying? Like Ken Dog Seeds, he does the same. Jordan of the Islands, he does the same as you guys do. Very good genetics for a very reasonable price.
Yeah, it's just that I think it comes down to one, notoriety. They're very, very popular. They have a huge demand for their genetics. So of course they can do that. You know, that's one, they can fucking do it, period. And then 2, there's a lot more moving parts when it comes to the way that they're doing their shit. Is they're all indoors. They're paying these light bills. They have investors. They have websites. They have, you know, they have personnel, they have licensing and all this other shit that they have to deal with, that a lot of us, you know, home growers that are just, you know, doing a smaller quantity of seeds. I mean, we're making about the same amount of seeds, but they're doing it more often. You know what I mean? Yeah. Their sales, they have more movement, more demand. So, you know, all the sales, people separating seeds, packaging, all that shit adds up. You know what I mean? So it becomes a necessity to raise the price at some point in time.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I hope that that's what they're doing, because I agree with that. But you know, it's the it's the American way where greed sets in after a certain point of time, you know. But
yeah.
But like some people in the chat was saying $100 is not bad for, you know, which is not. I'll pay $100. I've paid $80. Monster, I tell you before, dude, I was like, I was probably the pickiest one of the TrichomeChasers out there. I wasn't paying. If it would cost over $50, I wasn't buying it. But then I started looking at it. $100 is not a bad price for a pack of seeds, for a simple reason. If I pop all 10 at one time, you figure the common ratio of male to female is what, 50%?
Oftentimes, yes.
So you figure I got 5. Let's say I got 5 females, and let's say I have a nice size tent set up, or let's say I do that with, like, let's just say out of total I'm running 30 plants, okay, and I might have paid $100 or more, you know, $3,000 for all the seeds that I bought for these, okay, and I'm running them, and let's just say 30 plants. I'm probably looking at 4,000 watts, maybe, or maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
so I'm pulling in a decent yield. My harvest is decent, so I'm probably going to make back my money and then some. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, usually you could do that. Most places here in California, it's becoming a lot more difficult to do. Um, Pounds are like literally, it's like top shelf shit. Oftentimes wholesale, you're lucky if you get 100 to 110 an ounce.
Oh, it really? That's just getting that bad out there now?
Oh yeah. No, you can get outdoor pounds for 500, 400, sometimes even 300 if it's some just straight boo boo.
Oh crap! You know what? I believe that because I was in Arizona not too long ago, and their pounds of what we would be paying like up where I came from, anywhere between $1,800 to $2,400. They were $500 and $600 a pound, and I was shocked. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on something because somebody said that they didn't agree with here. I'll read it. It was hard work, cuz it says I don't agree at TrichomeChasers TV. I believe the theory that if you take care of a mother and maintain the optimal health she needs, you shouldn't have any problems or genetic drift. This is true. This is true, but any little thing, I mean, think about the life of a plant. How many years, how long of a period of time are we talking? And oftentimes, like for example, for a period of time there was a small crew of us. What we were doing was driving door to door, basically to different homes and in the suburbs and shit. And we had grows. We'd pull into the garage and we'd stage the living room. So in case anybody, the landlord, where everybody knocks on the door and it looks like a regular ass living room, and all the bedrooms were tacked out, right? And so when you have situations like that, and if you move or you have any type of heat stress, or any time that plant will stress out, that mother stresses out, or if you don't have like clones that you're constantly taking, like for example, if you have a mother and you save her, that's I'm gonna say it's much harder to keep the strain versus if you take your clones and then when you're growing your plants out, it's time to clean out the bottoms, and you clean the bottoms out and take your clones that way. Your genetics are more likely to stay healthy because you're always working with new mothers, new vigorous growth, and you always take your clones from the vigorous plants. You never go for the stagnant ones, which a mother can become root bound, like when the stem gets all woody and shit, and sometimes the growth will slow, or the mother, certain strains I've seen where they'll just start getting stressed out and they'll start popping more and more pistils in veg, and they're not flowering, but they're just popping more and more and more pistils, and it's starting to get messy. And then when you try to clone her, they start getting moldy, and it just starts becoming an issue. So that's why I say it's that when you maintain a mother, the mothers get tired, right? It's very difficult to maintain 100% health on a mother over like a 5 to 8 year period. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's how I just wanted to clarify that yes, it is possible, but the chances of doing that over an extended period of time is slim to none.
That's true, bro. Because a homie gave me some others like that, and he always tells me, "I got some new ones for you." But I'm always happy about the big giant ass mother. And just take her with you, and I could just throw her in the flower, take some couple of clones, and then throw her in the flower. That's how my
Yeah,
thinking is. But you're exactly right, because the clones that I take from those did get moldy. They did take a little longer to clone. They did succeed, but it was a little more hassle with them. And then the mother in flower, the growth was a little slower. In veg, even the growth was a little slower. I did have to transplant. The stock is woody, and everything you just said is true. And it's I think I experienced all this shit ever since I started dealing with the homie, because that's what I've been taking was clones and mothers, and I've been dealing with both.
yeah,
I mean,
they're
veggie.
his old mothers, basically his old mothers. Once
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
done with them,
yep,
right?
yep,
Yeah.
yep, 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 Yep.
And if you notice, every once in a while, like if you don't clean the insides because they get real messy on the inside,
Yep.
if you don't clean all that shit out, the whole thing will just be all nasty popcorn. It just gets moldy. It's gross.
Yeah, bro, you're fucking right. I was
And
dealing with
sometimes,
that shit. I was like, what the fuck? So I had to
hey,
clean her
check
up
this out.
then, and then let her redo her thing.
Hey, next time he gives you a tired mother like that, ask him and see if he'll give you a fresh clone of that same strain
Oh, he
and
always
grow them.
does.
Okay, but grow them side by side, and you'll see that the small clones or whatever will grow better than that tired ass mom.
Yeah, he always does. He always tells me, I don't know why you like them. They're gonna be worm food. Just take the new clones, but I never do because it's so easy for me just
Yeah,
throw
just to
her
throw it
in.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
feel you. You got space, so you just throw that motherfucker off to the side, and you get an
yeah,
extra few
yeah,
zips to smoke on.
yeah. So
So,
thank you, homie. Appreciate everything you done, bro. For real.
uh,
That's what
Yeah,
I
so
do for.
that's true though. Everything he said, legal is like for real. That's some real shit.
That's what I like. I don't keep. I know people that have their mothers for years, and I just take me a clone off of the mom and just refresh my mom right away. So I'll let the mom like go. Like I might take a few clones off of her, at a few certain different times. But after a while of her being in veg, shit, dude, she goes in the flower. I just flower her out. But I've
yeah,
also heard of people that don't flower their moms. Some people say they don't flower. They don't think that they don't flower the moms because they grow them for so long, and they say that they're not productive as far as buds and terpene profile and things like that.
right, right. That's very true.
Yeah, that's very interesting though. I'm glad you guys brought that up. So the genetic drift part that he was talking about, I seen the American one was saying something about the genetic drift is more population than it is individual. When they
Wait,
talk
what?
about genetic
I,
drift, I'm gonna go
I
back to
don't,
his comment and
I
see.
don't understand. I don't understand it.
Okay, no, it was 710 Canuck. He says, but that isn't genetic drift. Genetic drift is on a population scale, not an individual. And then I don't think we brought up genetic drift. I think somebody in the chat did.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. I don't get it.
And
I
I
don't.
I, I agree with Hoss Farm.
Like
Sometimes the
if
genetic
you
drift
take
can
more
be better.
clones or some shit.
I don't even know what that means. Like a genetic drift, like what that one cut because the mother, because of that mother, now that one cut is going to be
If
different
you
than the
take some
other
more
ones. Or
clones,
I don't. So like a genetic drift, you mean like if I took clones off of this mother, like the first generation of clones versus the eighth generation of clones? Is that what you're talking about? A genetic drift like that the quality of clones will, degrade over time?
I guess that's what he's saying. He wasn't really too clear about it.
I don't understand what that means, a genetic drift.
I think that's probably what it means because that's when he said it. That's what I was thinking. Like probably like after you take
What?
refresh that mother so long,
You
like
can.
clone after clone after clone.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you like he thinks you, or I don't know,
Sure.
maybe you are getting away from the genetic
Well, I mean,
somehow.
can you? What also could cause a genetic drift? You would think if we're talking about genetic drift, what also
Um,
could cause a drift in the genetics?
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here trying to read the comments, trying to understand what they're saying, what the genetic drift means. But yeah, it looks like we got it,
Yeah.
that we touched on it correctly. But you can barely hear what, dude? Smoke away. Because I'm wearing this earpiece. Oh, I see. Whenever I drop it, okay, I got it. I see the little bubble thing. But yeah, environment stress, anything like that.
Yeah.
You can burn the shit out of a mom, or you can get a root aphid. Mites. I'm gonna say mites can affect you, but you can always clean mites off and get new growth. But when you get root aphids and they fucking eat at the core of your fucking root mass, it's pretty much a fucking wrap from there.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully you got other clones of her.
All right. So so now that you got seeds, you got a lot of seeds. So let's say let's talk about a couple of strains that you were running first. Well, no. Before we do that, let's talk about your process of the seed. So after, you know, once the plant's ready for you to start shucking the seeds, what's your process? Like, from how do you do? I guess it'd be a stage of curing, I guess so. So let's talk about
basic. I mean, from start to finish, I mean, I have that little bay window. It's basically like a small greenhouse. It's right next to my big greenhouse, and so I put the plants on there just long enough for them to pollinate. And once they're pollinated, then I you know, spray them down. I cut down the males, kill the males, throw them away, feed them to the goats and the chickens, and then from there I'll spray down the area and the plant, like, to neutralize the pollen after the next day. The next day after I cut the males down, I let them sit 24 hours, and then I'll spray them all down to neutralize any pollen. I don't want it floating around, going everywhere while I'm messing with them, right? So always spray down the plant so your pollen doesn't go spraying everywhere. And also it's very irritating if you've got allergies. Make sure you cover up, and spraying down the male before you cut him down also helps. So that can really help. Like, I had to take two hot ass showers. My skin was all irritated. My eyes were burning. I got a little bit of pollen inside my little cut, and that was burning too. But point is, you know, protect yourself. But from there, I move them into the greenhouse, and they'll experience the greenhouse, and they'll finish out in there. And then from there, once I harvest them, I dry them just like kind of like a plant. But I don't like hanging them. And another thing too, I feed all the way through. Either you grow for seed or you grow for bud, one or the other, right?
Right.
And you don't flush when you're growing for seeds. Drive safe, hon. But when you're growing for seed, you feed all the way through. There's no reason to flush. You're not going to smoke it, right? And so I don't have one of those fancy ass the seed harvesting machines or whatever. I don't have all that. So I let them sit in a cardboard box. I chop them up and throw them in a cardboard box because I don't want them to get moldy. I want them to dry with the cardboard box open. I don't care if the buds go flat on the sides or anything, because I'm not going to smoke it. It's nothing like that. You know what I mean? We're just trying to dry them properly, good dry. And once they're nice and dry, then I wait till they're brittle dry, like brittle dry. And once they're nice and dry, then I basically, put some gloves on and do this, gently with the buds. And once it's all broken down, I put a big, those big metal turkey trays, the disposable ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I use one of those and just kind of turn it to the side and run a card and move it with a glove in my hand, whatever. And they start rolling away, and I break down the buds and gently, and they just roll away and just keep pushing the bud up. And as you see chunks of bud, you try and separate, the shake and the seeds, and try to harvest some of the seeds out of there and put them in a jar and just let them chill, in the jar with the lid open for a couple more days. Then I close it, close the jar up, and I don't want them to dry out too much to where I've noticed that if you let them dry out too much, sometimes the actual outer shell starts to kind of crack and fray and split open sometimes. So I don't want them to dry out too much, and then I'll fucking lock them in, because I'm in the desert. That's why so that's why I'm saying, that type of, I have to worry about that type of dryness.
Okay.
Because it'll drop down into like 10%, 5% humidity sometimes. So that can become a problem. So yeah, from there, I just try and lock them in a jar and try to separate them as best I can.
All right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So like me when I buy some brick.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's where I learned it. Old school days.
Yeah, brickweed. Hell yeah. All right, so let's talk about your strains that you have right now. What strains have you created so far?
So far, aside for myself, I have created the Escalade Kush, and that was the purple. What is it? The purple Cadillac, feminized over onto a select cut of Tahoe OG, and it had a very very chemical flavor to it. The Tahoe did. It was, it had the OG and the piney and all that, all the terpenes that you expect from a Tahoe OG, right? And but aside from that, it had its own little. It was just a different pheno that we got a hold of, and it was just nice. It was frosty. It looked a lot like the cookies, kind of, but in OG form, it had that same OG lankiness, all that bullshit. But the purple Cadillac really dominated the genetic line. I really didn't get too many Tahoe phenos. Aside from that, I've got I actually went to my father-in-law's house, and I fucking ran into. He got some seeds from Humboldt from some random, and he'd been breeding. Old guy been breeding in Humboldt for years, I guess, and he had some Bubblicious that he fucking old school cut of Bubblicious that he just he had some seeds and just kept breeding them and inbreeding them and inbreeding them in Humboldt, old dude, and he gave my father-in-law some seeds, and hey, get off the couch, get off, big ass dogs. It was April, and he planted these from seed. It was only maybe 30 days, and he topped them a bunch of times, and the plants were bigger than me. And it was early spring. It was springtime, and they were already bigger than me. So I could tell that it was a very vigorous grower. So I took clones from the males and the female. I actually selected the ones that had the wider indica leaf, so it was more of a Bubba type of pheno that I chose, and I back crossed that. And when I back crossed the Bubblicious back into itself, I basically got the pre-98 and threw that on there, and then got the animal cookies and threw that on there. And so now we got the bazooka gum, we got the Bubblicious, and we've got the balloon animals. And right now I've got the animal cookie cut again on that same windowsill, and we have two of the balloon animals, which is the animal cookies, already crossed with the Bubblicious, and we're back crossing it to the animal cookies. So that's what I'm doing right now. Oh yeah, I just got done crossing the what the hell was that? The Space Bomb Girl Scout cookies, and crossed it back with the animal cookies again. So I wanted to continue the the cookie line. So I back crossed it to that animal cookie. So that's gonna be space animals. Still have to test that. I got the Escalade Kush, crossed that with a purple alien OG, and then I crossed it again. I chose two phenos, one that smelled like pine and another one that smelled like spoiled fruit. And I crossed that. I dusted that with an SFVOG Master, and I still have yet to test those. And that's all I got so far.
Nah, that Escalade Kush sound, hell yeah, that Escalade Kush cross. Yeah, that sounds real good.
Yeah, I can't wait to test out that new look at Texas OG talking about he's running the Bubblicious right now, and he said it's the biggest thing in the tent. And I will say, you need to top it. If you do got that strain Bubblicious from me, or the Bazooka Gum, those two are very vigorous growers. You're going to have to top her. You're going to have to LST. you're going to have to keep them in check because they are very, very vigorous growers. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm excited about the new crosses though, for sure, that I'm about to test. The pine, the one that smells like pine, and the one that smells like spoiled fruit. The purple alien OG with the Escalade on the S Master SFEOG. I can't wait to get that tested out. I'm juiced about that.
So it got like a Pikachu smell.
It's the spoiled fruit. Yeah, it's like you know, like when you walk under like a fruit tree and you sit, it's got that kind of like earthy yet kind of that fruity sweet smell to it. Because it's got a lot of OGs in it. It's got a lot of Kush OG type flavors in it, but it's still got that sweetness to it.
Pungent smells.
Yeah, the two Escalade Kush that you sent me, man, they're doing good, man. They got their dip, so they're doing pretty good now.
Good. Oh yeah, let me touch on that because I sent you some, and I sent somebody else some. The exact same cut, the exact same way, packaged, everything, right?
Yeah.
And you treated them very differently than he did. Yours made it, he did not. You know what I mean? So let's talk about what you did when you received those clones. So what I did was I had the clones, right, and I vegged them out in solo cups, and then from there I knocked down the soil and to squeeze them into those little, you know, the little packaging that I put them in, the basically little plastic envelopes, sort of. But anyways, once you receive them, what did you do to make them survive they're still alive? Because this dude's shit shriveled up and just died.
Okay, the first thing I did was I made sure, I don't know what time of year you sent his, but since it's cold now where I live when I got
same day. No, I'm saying he got his the exact same day.
First thing I did, man, was I got him acclimated before I did anything, dude. I sat them somewhere where it was really warm because you could tell they were a little, they had a little dew on them. There was a little damp, but you could tell they were cold, you know, which at this time of the year they're going to be. So the first thing I did, dude, I put them right next to some warm heat, got them room temperature while I went and prepared everything else that I needed them to go in. You know what I'm saying? So once I did that, I dipped them in my Mighty Wash, which not saying you have anything, but
no, you have to do that. Actually, they did have mites, but they're predatory mites is what they had on them.
Right. So yeah, I didn't. So I dipped them, and once I dipped them, I put them straight in the dome. I put them in the solo cup. Put the cocoa in the solo cup. Fresh cocoa. I didn't use the cocoa you sent with it. I put fresh cocoa in the solo cup. Which I'd already been pre-mixed, and I didn't have any newts in it. This cocoa, only newts that this cocoa had was some velo kelp from Remo, and it's just a 1-1-1 ratio, which it was only which I gave it full strength, but it had a little bit of CalMag. That's all it had in it, and it went straight in the dome, right up under the light, straight in the dome, man. Where somewhere I could control their environment, you know. And I kept and they're sitting with my seedlings, but they're sitting away from the rest of the garden. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I did. I mean, but I've knew since it was cold, man. The first thing you got to do is if I'd have like dipped them and then went straight in, I think I would have had an issue because you could tell it. You got to get them acclimated to the environment. You know, you got to get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the first thing I did. That's what I did.
Good job, bud. Because like I said, dude got him. He put him under a LED light and transplanted or whatever, and you could see it was just all fucking sideways lights. And that shit shriveled up. I'm trying to burn this wax off of this. I got a dabber trying to clean it off. It's all dripping.
Cheers, chat.
Yeah, man. So
I think that's pretty cool, man. Like you said, to have your own little archive of all kind of different kind of seeds and genetics and dank that you can have on hand whenever you're ready. You know, instead of looking for that keeper pheno all the time, you would have it in seed form. So
Yeah,
that'll
yeah.
be awesome.
Another thing
I think it's
too is
awesome. You know, I think that's the same thing.
yeah, no, I'm really digging it because like if I get a cut and I know that it's good, a good cut that somebody's like, you know, bringing me for sure, that's legit, and I've got a male, I'll fucking cross it right then and there and not introduce it to my garden period, and so I never have to worry about the whole mites and all that shit, you know. So that helps out too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I guess it's good to quarantine, right? Because usually I got like this. I call it the homie calls it the nuke 'em.
Yeah,
But I wash my shit down. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I get them, I'll dip them and then spray them. Let that, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
evaporate on them, and then I'll come back, wash it off, do it again about 2 or 3 days while they're in quarantine, and then I'll let them into my shit.
When you say wipe them off, what do you mean wipe them off? You wipe off the solution that you used to dip them in?
Yes,
No,
yes.
oh, you
I
do. Oh,
would. I wouldn't
I thought you were
suggest doing that.
wiping the. I thought you were wiping the leaves, like trying to crush the existing bugs that were there.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't
Oh no.
suggest. I wouldn't suggest. My opinion, my suggestion. When you dip and whenever you leave it on them, it's supposed to stay on them and actually dry on your plant. That's
Yeah,
what that's the way I understood it. But yeah, I don't wipe anything off, man. I leave it on it, and then like you say, but I will come back 3 days. Like 3 days later from now, I'm gonna hit it with like method one. 3 days later from that, I'm probably gonna hit it with mites and mildew, and then just do a rotation. But I don't just do it to clones that I get a shit. I do that on my own garden. Period. Ever since I had them little devils that one time that wiped me out for about 6 months, dude. I'm be
Yeah,
on top of my IPM religiously, man.
yeah.
Religiously.
I remember that. That's why I try to stay on it. And then I got onto this OHN, man, and it's been working too. The OHN's been doing its thing. I know it's not as strong, but it's been keeping the shit away and even killing the funky ass G gnats or what is it, fungus gnats. So
The GNATs. They are some fucking G's. They survive some shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind like bugs, dude. They don't really bother me too much. I did encounter one. Was it like a year ago? I got some fucking cut of Gorilla Glue, and I don't know what the fuck, dude. I sprayed this plant, dipped it, did everything I was supposed to do, and this was the most resilient strain of mites I ever encountered. Like this lady had created a super mite in her backyard or some
Oh
shit.
wow.
Dude, I sprayed Azamax. I burned sulfur. I ended up, dude. I did like I tried neem. What else did I do? I tried green cleaner. Um,
Damn it.
I tried that SNS. Was it 209 or whatever
Yeah,
it is?
something like
SNS.
that. Yeah.
The SNS shit. I
The
tried
bad
that
stuff.
too. None of that shit worked. None of that shit. And so what I did, the way that I fucking got rid of them was I sprayed, and basically I prepared myself for this shit because I took a bunch of clones and a bunch of other plants and let them veg out for a little bit because I knew a bunch of plants were gonna die. And so what I did was I sprayed them all with Azamax and I turned the sulfur burners on and just nuked the whole room and everything died, dude. All the plants just
Hell
shriveled
yeah.
up and just, I had to do a re-veg on everything.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. When them little devils hit me, man, I tried to save my plants. Man, I got so pissed off, man, that one day I came in there with a bottle of bleach spray, man, and just sprayed the plants and everything. I said, fuck it. I'm just gonna have to start all over, man. I sprayed the plants down with bleach. I sprayed the tents, the walls. I scrubbed the whole room with bleach. I mean, it was so bad. I had to come in with a mask on one day because I was afraid I was gonna pass out, dude. I was just like, forget it. But I tell you what, I wasn't gonna go through that crap no more, man. I definitely wasn't going through that no more.
I'm scared of root aphids. That's what I'm scared of.
I had those before.
Where you're just sitting there, like you're just chilling, everything's going perfect in your garden, and all of a sudden your plants just fucking flop over.
Yep.
It's a wrap, dude.
Now that's what that mites mildew come in at. So far, like I know there's other products that you can use for soil drench, but I soil drench my plants with the mites mildew for like a week straight. I'll give them just no, it's actually it's like long. It's not like a week straight. It's like, but it's a week over. It's a week in time that I do it over a 2-week period, like 7 days. I just soil drench them, and I tell you what, I've noticed. I had a small population of gnats, fungus gnats. I didn't know if they were root aphids. I didn't know what they was. I just said, man, but I can tell you this though. After I did that with that mites mildew, man, I couldn't remember shit when I saw a gnat after that. It worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't found too many products that can take out. They're these little they're the black root aphids. That I've only found toxic shit that can take them out. You know, shit that you really shouldn't be using in your, you know what I mean, in your flower at all. Especially not like in mid veg. I wouldn't even use it in mid veg. Like that shit is some bad shit. What the fuck was it? I can't remember what it was.
Ortho?
No, it was some shit that commercial growers use. I fucking forgot what it is.
I don't know.
It's been years since I used it. That's why, because I fucking learned. No, it wasn't Avid. Avid's fucked up too, and it's a neurotoxin. That's why I don't use these things. So, in case you guys didn't know, the reason why a lot of these pesticides are banned in California is because the difference between different species of insects and animals and shit is that we have a bag around our brain, right? And these insects do not. So it's a neurotoxin, and it basically kills them by fucking with their nervous system. Right? That's the way it works. And so the only reason it doesn't affect us is because we have that bag around our brain. But it still affects us. Don't get it twisted. We have a nervous system outside of our brain, and that can be affected, and that, you know, can translate into like Parkinson's disease or some type of restless leg syndrome, where basically you move and you have the jitters and shit like that. So that's why we steer away from using those type of products.
If Man's Food still has his video up, he's got a video out that he did. I think it was almost a year ago. I wonder if his video is still up. He's got a video out where no, it wasn't Man's Food. I'm sorry. It was Cali Green. Cali Green. His video probably still up. He had a video. What he did for his was that he used vinegar, soap, and a hot sauce.
Oh yeah, yep. I think I reposted it.
And that did, and I mean, and it literally worked well, man. It was beastly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I seen that one. I used it.
Oh yeah.
For the fungus gnats.
Oh yeah, that stuff works. All right, so who all we got in the chat? Let me see what we all got in the chat. We got see a lot of people there all talked about it.
Yeah, oils are easy to make, man. You can order fucking oils like lemongrass oil, citrus oil, cinnamon oil, you know, all these different strong, pungent, you know, oils and shit, and you mix them all into some water, and there you go. You got some Azamax, you got some 86, you got some, you know, all that shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You use an emulsifier like for example, Wet Betty. You mix that in with the oils, and that's how, you know, you get them. So because otherwise they'll just float on top of the water. Use warm water and emulsifier, or you can use like soap, like that dish soap that's organic. What the fuck is it? Dawn. The stuff that they use for the penguins to watch the
Yes,
penguins.
yes, that's the blue dawn.
Yeah, so you use a couple of drops of that and some and all those different oils. It'll basically cut the oil, so that it'll mix in with the water better.
Yep.
And then you use warm water and you spray that shit, and there you go.
Oh yeah, man. Yep. There's that most dish detergents, they're, well, not most, but they're organic, but they work good as an emulsifier. Very good as an emulsifier. See, we got, let's see, we got Samaka pork chop up in the house. Mr. Big Ed Dog. Hey, I think I've even seen Black G stop up in the house real quick. CW Farms. What's good?
What it do? What it do?
Dankness Grows. Dankness Grows, I think he said that he had looked he said broad mice just wiped, not broad mice, but russet mice just wiped him out.
Man, it's cold. It's a cold world.
Yeah, man.
What kind of predatory mites were you using?
I was using a blend. Actually. It's Nature's, what was it? Nature's Good Guys or some shit like that. The company, and they actually, it's like 6 different types of predatory mites. And I bought 2,000 of them.
Shit.
I bought 2,000 of them, and they were just ready, man. They were moving fast too. They took off. And so I put them in the veg, and I put them in the in the greenhouse. But I put most of them in the greenhouse. I just put a few of them in the veg, and I seen them taking off.
Can you see them working?
Oh yeah, no, you can see them working, and you can see them breeding too. And as they eat, they lay eggs. So here in the springtime, at the end of spring, because I got a run going right now, I'm gonna hopefully cut that down, and then, like I was telling you, I'm gonna try and revamp my greenhouse, and do the where I harness the geothermal energy, in order to keep my the climate, temperature in my greenhouse, more stable.
Hey, so real quick, because I know we talked about it a little bit before the show started, but your thermal energy. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's dope.
Right.
It was very interesting.
All right, so anything that if you dig anything about like 3 feet underground, it's going to maintain a certain temperature. It's like a temperature buffer, right? It's a little warmer in the wintertime. It's a little cooler in the summertime, right? It's underground. So what you can do is you can, like what I'm gonna do actually in my greenhouse, what I plan on doing is, once I cut down, I'm gonna remove all the good soil and set that aside, right? And then we're gonna dig down deeper, and then we're gonna put that black the corrugated drainage hose that you use, for irrigation drainage, and we're gonna put a bunch of that down, and we're gonna snake it to where it's coming from the top of the greenhouse down into the soil, and then back up. And we're not gonna put it all the way to the top of the greenhouse. We're gonna put it right there, kind of like at the bottom of the greenhouse, and from there we're gonna put an inline fan on that hose, and then it's gonna pull the air from the top of the greenhouse, warm air, and bring it down in the daytime, and it'll store that heat energy in the soil. It'll also aerate the soil, and then it will store that heat energy. And as the nighttime, comes in, it will actually release that heat up into the greenhouse, and it'll keep your plants warm at night. And in the summertime, it'll do the same thing in the daytime, storing all that heat in the soil underneath, where, it's basically cooking your roots up and putting that heat energy into your root zone, which is a helpful thing. And also you add sugars, it helps the microbes and all sorts of good stuff. But it will cool your greenhouse as well. Now, if you want to go double with the geothermal energy, you can just instead of building a big greenhouse with the, you know how, because we grow taller plants, right? So most greenhouses, you have the side walls and then you have the dome part, right? So you know, you don't want just a regular round ass fucking hoop house, because then your plants will touch the round part of the hoop, correct?
Right.
So we tracking. So now instead of doing that, you can dig a big ass pit and sink your greenhouse down underground. So now the sides of your greenhouse are insulated by the soil. And then aside from that, you're also doing what I just said with the hoses and the inline fan that will further keep your temperatures regulated. And not to mention, as it's pulling the air from the top of the greenhouse, you guys know that as water evaporates, it rises and kind of, you know, will attach itself to the plastic, and it will rain back down on your plants. So what you don't want that. So with that whole inline fan and everything, it's also pulling the moisture into the bed and preventing mold in your greenhouse. And so if you do all of that, you can grow year round damn near anywhere. The only other thing that if it's snowing and you see that, you know, it's going to be a problem, your yields will be affected. If you want to throw some lights or some heaters in there, it will, you know, regulate everything perfectly. And you won't, you know, you can throw some solar panels to pay for the electricity to run that heater, you know, and, you know, do it like that, man. It's way more cost efficient. If you're going to also be in a greenhouse, you can also throw in some lights for when it's overcast, and again, do light deprivation.
Right.
The amount of electricity that you're using versus, you know, the efficiency is just through the roof. It's just crazy. This is just really the way to go, man. Light deprivation and using geothermal energy to run your grow, instead of using electricity or propane gas or natural gas or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's cheaper. Yeah. It's cheaper, and not only that, but it's better for the environment. So everybody wins, and then it also will help your yields so that you can grow year round.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Yeah, you had me very interested when you started talking about that. Then we started talking about backhoes and digging. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like something I'll be ready to do. Tear up some shit.
Yeah.
All right. So you know, Courtney. So being a seed junkie episode, you know, we always talk about the stash, about that vault, that seed vault. If not the seed vault, we talk about them hot strains out there, or that we say that, you know, that everybody, that new is what the young boys call it, the new, or, you know, we talk about strains that we might want bucket list wise. So let's start with that one, bucket list. Is there any strains on the bucket list that you might want that's out there?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, D. Go ahead. You go ahead and tell me, because I mean, really. You already know what I want. We talked about
that. Yeah, I got you on that one. I was in there watering them today, man. I got you on those.
So
got you on those. But yeah, that's those. I'm telling you. Go ahead, Daniel. My fault, brother. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I got what I'm really anxious to pop is the treetop genetics, man. I mean, that's the ones I'm antsy about. So once I get those going, I see what I really haven't been popping beans, bro, because like I said, the homie's been just passing me down nothing but clones. So I can't wait to pop these beans though.
Man, look here, bro. I've been cloning.
I know you got them going already.
I've been cloning everything, man, and then I you know me, I love the pop beans, bro. I just do. But I've been doing all this cloning, man. And then when Monster hit me up with them treetop genetics, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Because when you pop one, you can't stop popping. So, you know, I had to pop every last one of them bad boys. And then I got a pack in today from Create Genetics. It's a Bruce Banner 3 BX3. Man, I popped them too.
Oh man.
Right. So, it's about to be on and popping. But I'm pretty happy with the strains that I got right now. But stash wise, man, I always keep a stash of beans, man. I always got some. I got some coming in from 813 Genetics, man. I'm really it's got a cross of Frank, have you heard of KDS, Ken Dog Smoke Seeds, KDS Seeds?
No, I have not.
He's in Cali, but I think he's in Northern Cali. He's got some pretty nice strains out, but he had this one particular strain called Stank Pie. Now, I heard about this strain when I first started growing. I was like, ooh, that might be something. Well, turned out my boy 813 Genetics got that. He's got Stank Pie, plus he's got crosses that he did with it. He breeds too. So he calls it his bishop. So I can't wait to get that one. He names him after a lot of his comic book characters that he used. But yeah, man. But there's right now I think the only strain that I'm really hunting for right now, there might be two. One is a master.
I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay. One is a Master Kush, and then the second one is man, it's a toss up. But the second one is, I was looking for Khalifa Kush, but I think I found my Khalifa Kush though. And not only that, I believe I've got a cut of Charlotte's Web coming in too. So that's going to be good for my CBD line.
Nice.
But yes, that Master Kush though, that's definitely on my list.
Yeah, I was gonna get a pack of that one time.
Yeah, MH23. Yeah, man, that's that Dark Horse. Yep, Dark Horse Genetics. Yep, I got that. So I just popped them. They're in water right now. I'm gonna let them sit in water for about 12, maybe 14 hours, and then they go into paper towels.
That drink breath, bro. That's what I've been waiting for.
Yo, Think Tank just hit me up. Think Tank Seed Bank on Instagram. He just hit me up. He said he's gonna have that purple drink breath. I'm getting that. 80.
No way.
And it's only $80, bro. He's only charging $80 for it. I think somewhere I seen somebody was charging like 100, 120 before. He's only charging $80 for it, man. So yeah, I'm getting that.
Hell yeah.
Hey man, though, they say, I was talking to Kaz on Create Genetics earlier today. He was saying that's one of the hardest strains to find is a Master Kush. One of the hardest strains to find. A legit. So we'll see. But I got Pure Kush. I do have Pure Kush. That's going to go in the water probably halfway through this run right here. That's going to go in the water, that Pure Kush. White Buffalo and Lowrider Autoflower. That's what's up. I have to check that out.
I have a cross of Durban Poison and Hindu Kush.
Keep that. I hear that's pretty. Durban Poison, that's another one that's been eluding me, even though I'm pretty sure I can get it because I think Hazeman Seed sell it through DC Seed Exchange, and not only him, but no, Oregon Elite doesn't carry that. But I know DC Seed Exchange, they carry Hazeman's Durban Poison, so I was thinking about maybe grabbing that up too. And it's real. I think it's only like $60 or $80, one of the two. Oh, yeah. Chris says that, oh man, that Jedi Punch got me itching. Yeah, I was looking at that Jedi Punch too. I don't know. Or is it Jedi Breath? Jedi Breath, I believe. Agent Orange times GDP. That's what Samaka Pork Chop says. Hey, Hoss Farms, I don't even want to talk about that, man. Ocean Grown ain't sent me no more seeds, dude. I don't even want to talk about them, bro.
Some fucking
shout out to Uncle Charlie, man.
Yeah, that's Uncle Charlie. That's the man.
That shit, man. I had a pack of some fucking Ocean Grown. What was it? That purple shit they got. What is it? Ninja Fruit.
Oh, do you? I got a couple beans of Ninja Fruit, and I got the Highlander.
I had a fucking pack of that shit, and that shit didn't sprout. Nothing.
It didn't. Are you serious?
No way.
Not a single motherfucking one.
Wow.
I was mad. I'm gonna have to hit up Black G's ass because he's got that shit. So I'm gonna have to go hit him up for it. You know what I mean? Go to a different source because their shit didn't pop.
Right. So yeah, I got so yeah, man, I think what's gonna happen. I got the ninja fruit. I was talking to somebody about the ninja fruit, man. I don't know. I might just them yet, but they were telling me that the ninja fruit's really, at least their phenols that they had, and from what they said, a couple of their buddies, there's really not that potent. It's a good flower, it's a good smoke, but it says really not that potent. And I was just wondering if anybody in the chat ran across that as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of ocean grown. Don't get me wrong, I do like ocean grown. Don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely going to grow out. I got the Bewitch F2, which is I think the new name is Dionysus now, I think, or Dionysus. It's a Greek god, I believe they named it after. It's the Bewitch F2. Love it. I love that, man. It has a pineapple cheesecake terpene, man. I love that one. So that's going to be stay in the garden for a minute, man. I just keep taking clones and taking clones of that one. So that one's going to stay. But the Highlander, I'm going to pop this Highlander though. I am going to pop the Highlander.
Oh.
Yeah, hard work cuz says it's not too potent, but it's very pretty. I feel you, fam, because I've seen some really nice phenols of that ninja fruit. I've seen some really nice ones.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, right?
Hey, Big Ed said Rusty got some Durban poison. You would have to say that, Big Ed, wouldn't you? Nah, I don't want no Durban poison from my good old buddy pal Rusty Shackelford. I'll pass. Oh man, so yeah, man. So what you got in the stash though, Frank? I know you got some seeds in the vault, man. I know you got something in the vault. Oh shit, did it drop him? I think I just
it kicked us out. That's what I was telling you. It kicked us out right now.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, here he comes. He's coming back in right now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
I'm back. I don't know. My phone stopped working. I had it. No, it's yeah, no, it was the Hangouts, but it dropped me on my phone for some reason.
It kicked me out too.
Yeah, that Vader's vintage, and that Fader actual. I might have to buy those two. I might buy those two.
Yeah, Loki was saying that was straight gas. That
Which
Fader.
One? Yeah.
Fader.
Yeah, that Fader actual. Yep.
Actually, I could try that. I was looking for a solid OG, man. Something pure, something gassy, straight funk.
Yeah.
So that dark plasma in there though, bro, looks very, very promising. So I may have to rock with her.
Yeah, Hard Work says he's got the Spartan Kush BX. Said he tried to get the Fader too, but he couldn't get them both. So Frank, I know you got something in the stash, man. What you got in the stash, bro? I know you got some good stuff in the stash.
Right now, I got some stuff from Europe from what is it? Unicorn Seeds. I'm not sure exactly what he bred, but it's definitely some terpenes, definitely some sweet terpenes in there. I got some stuff from Housefire Genetics. What else? I got Toy Soldier's shit. Mo Green Stinson sent me some seeds, and then I don't even know what he sent me though. I think he sent me some Tangy seeds. Tangy times some type of OG. Buddha, was it not Buddha OG? Something, I forgot what it was. But he sent me the Tangy, and then he sent me the Tangy pollen. Well, the Tangy pollen that I got from him, he put it in a plastic bag, and it basically neutralized most of the pollen. But I did get one seed out of the Tangy, but I crossed it over to the original Girl Scout cookie. And I'm not talking about the forum Girl Scout cookie. I'm talking about the real motherfucking Girl Scout cookie. Not that little popcorn shit.
I know that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about the real Girl Scout cookies. I heard about that.
Yeah, I got that shit from San Francisco.
I feel you.
I scoured the globe, man, all of California, bro. Everybody that said they had the Girl Scout cookies, and I bought it. You know what I mean? I spent like, I mean, some people hooked me up. They gave me the clone, and some people charged me a couple $100. The most I paid was $700 for one clone.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was a good, healthy mother. It wasn't just. It was a teen. She was alive. It was vibrant. It's not like it was gonna die or anything on, like that. It was a good sized plant. But, I spent some bread on that shit. But the one that I spent $150 on this one from this dude in San Francisco. And dude, I mean, I met him a couple times, but I didn't really know him. But he showed me a picture of him and some rappers, and supposedly the rappers got the cut from Burner or something. Somebody stole a cut from Burner, and that's where that cut came from, supposedly. That's the story, right? That's the fucking story. But man, that shit, it's not like anybody else's Girl Scout cookie that I fucking seen. And it looks just like the shit in the t-shirts,
right?
Just like the shit in his garden. It looks just like that. Some cool size nuggets. It's not some big giant ass fucking grenades or nothing. And it ain't that little popcorn bullshit that I see on everybody else's shit where it looks like you're the size of your thumb and shit.
Right.
Like, it ain't that. So, and if you look on my channel, you go to it says Frosty Beans Fuego, and watch that video. At the intro, the first plants that you see are some big ass colas, and you see me, I'm holding them like this. They're like 1 liter bottles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like thickness, like 1 liter bottles, and that out in the greenhouse is the Girl Scout cookie, and right next to it is the animal cookie. And they're like, colas. They're big. They don't look like little bullshit,
It's some Girl Scout cookies on steroids. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it like I said, the greenhouse, it makes a big difference being sun grown, and then also I have them in a bed. And being in a bed, the bottom of the bed, the soil touches, the actual earth soil.
Mm-hmm.
So they could just go as far as they want, pretty much. The roots can go out huge. And you guys know, the bigger the root, the bigger the fruit.
Yep, that's what they say.
Hell yeah, man.
As long as you get your transplant
channel, right, bro?
What's up?
You got an IG page?
Yep, I do. It is Frank _Yeska.
Got you, Frank _.
And actually, Frank _Yeska. And I've been considering not necessarily dropping YouTube, but cutting back on YouTube and going more Instagram, going live on Instagram, because they're fucking with me, man. They're fucking with everybody.
Yeah, they are.
So I don't know. They talking about this WeedTube stuff, but I mean, the WeedTube, you still need YouTube or your own website or Dailymotion or some other platform to upload your videos, and then you could share the link onto WeedTube. Come on.
Yeah, I went to the page, but I didn't register anything like that. I just wanted to see what it looked like. Haven't decided whether or not I'm gonna sign up for it or not yet.
I did. Supposedly they're gonna fix it to where we can upload, but I know that costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much money these dudes got. You feel me?
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
I wonder who started that.
I have no idea, man. I don't know.
I wonder who's. Yeah, I'd be curious though to see how that goes. Hey, so another thing we were talking about before the show started was, what's his name? The brown guy.
Brown guy 420. I knew you were. How did I know you were going to bring that up?
Brown guy 420.
So yeah, no, you know what? I really actually appreciate him as a grower. You know, I watch the guy. He's a good dude and everything, but he's more grow oriented, in my opinion, than he is business oriented, and that technically, I think that was his downfall. You know, where at multiple points, I saw him basically kind of wasting time or wasting space. You remember, if you guys recall, he had he planted a bunch of stuff. He had a greenhouse, and he had a wood burning stove in there, and he vegged a bunch of shit out and all this other stuff. And then he ended up having to cut all that down because he wasn't ready with all his other greenhouse and everything, all the build out and everything. Like, I mean, personally, I wouldn't even crack a single fucking seed if I didn't have a full environment to put them into ready to go.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know what he was doing there. That's one. And then, sorry, my girl just pulled up. But anyways, so I don't know what he was doing there. Now, every single one of those greenhouses that he built is $100,000 greenhouse, right? Or close to at least $60,000 on the low side. And that is being conservative. That's the range that, you know, that I believe that he actually paid for those damn things, because he paid a company. Mind you, I've had quotes come in from that same company, and I was like, you are what? For a 40 by 40 greenhouse, they wanted $60-something thousand for a 40 by 40 greenhouse. That was going to be my little nursery. And I was still going to get another quote from them for a 30 by 90 foot greenhouse. Right? And so that was the plan, but these guys were just outrageous with their prices. But what I'm saying is, he had all this money, and he blew all that money on building these expensive ass greenhouses. He didn't have them sealed up. He didn't do the geothermal energy. He did drainage. If he would have he did the same drainage hoses that he used, if he would have just made them a little longer and snaked them up to the greenhouse, he would have been able to close the sides of the greenhouse and put fans going this way with filters to prevent bugs or any dust or anything coming through the greenhouse, right? That's one thing. He could have improved his quality that way. Now, another thing is, when you grow outdoor, that automatically knocks down your quality, and that automatically knocks down your wholesale price. He was banking on hoping that he would make it just in the wholesale market. Dudes, does anybody see a problem with that? You know what I mean? If somebody next door to you has a bigger harvest and has to go to the same dispensaries as you, and they're dumping it for cheaper than you, then, you know, how are you going to survive after you got investors and personnel and all this other stuff? So, you know, that's, I'm not.
The burger's kind of low.
You guys still there?
Yes, sir.
All right, just wanted to make sure. So instead of building those number of greenhouses, in my opinion, if he would have saved some of that money, right, considering that each one of those was $100,000, he could have just cut one of those out and used that money towards going seed to sale, right? Because the current market outdoor is $400 to $500 a pound wholesale. You might be lucky if you get 1,000, 1,200, maybe even 1,600 from certain dispensaries that like what you're doing.
You have to wait, Matt.
But other than that, that's the market. That's the current market. and this dude's doing outdoor, asking $2,000 a pound, and he's got investors expecting these high, outrageous numbers. If he would have just took that little bit of money and went seed to sale to where he can sell to the consumer, right? And instead of $500 a pound, can you imagine? Everybody would have jumped on $5 grams. If he had $5 grams, any strain, $5 grams, all of it, across the board, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, that's great. $5 grams, that's real reasonable, and this and that, right?
It would have sold out.
Sold out. That equates to $2,200 a pound, $2,200 per pound versus under $1,000 a pound. And then you could just add your tax plus tax. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah,
So,
that shit would have played out nicely.
He would have made it. He would have paid his investors. He would have. He's got so many subscribers that he probably would have been okay, because those people would have been trying to be on camera, right? And go to this dispensary so they could be on YouTube, be on fucking the Brown Guy 420's channel type shit, you know, and promote that way.
Yep.
He just didn't take a business approach, is what it is, in my opinion.
I didn't even know that happened to him, bro. And I kept up with him like a lot. All of a sudden I just seen him
It
drop
happened
out.
quick. I didn't even know until somebody told me about it. I was like, for real? Because I was following him. I got a little busy and wasn't watching, and somebody told me like, yo.
Yeah, that shit's nuts.
Yeah, you can't pay your bills. You know what I mean? It's a wrap.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you gotta remember you gotta take care of all that shit, man.
Yeah, it's all
every month.
All
every month.
Yep.
Every month.
Every single month. As I'm telling you, these guys. Actually, I was talking to Gunner 420, and I told him the story about the guy that had us build all this shit, and and he was like, "Really, man? The same thing happened about somebody else." And it's funny because these two guys unknowingly are doing the same shit, and they're friends. They're friends, but they don't like talk business to each other like that. It's funny. Like, I think it's ridiculous. Like, it's like fucking birds of a feather, man. They just flock together. Dude's not paying their bills.
It's a dirty game, man. Everybody gotta eat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, trying to keep it now. That chat be.
Yeah, the chat be moving. Shit, I can't even. My phone's been tripping.
What do we got? So we've been streaming for almost an hour, or over an hour. So I'm almost an hour and a half now. Show's been going pretty good. Frank, glad you decided to join us, man. Sorry, everybody, I couldn't create genetics on. I don't know what happened. I'll have to speak with them, but they're always busy. So, but we can always have them on another episode.
For sure.
Frank, any big plans you got coming up, brother?
Just trying to scrape. I got to do some extracting here soon. I was gonna go to Kush Stock, but it's my girl's birthday, so I'm rolling with her wherever she goes. Wherever she want to go. Aside from that, man, I was going to suggest maybe we do a giveaway or something.
You want to do one tonight, or you want to do one on another show?
No, we can do one tonight.
Oh shit, that's my kind of language right there. What we giving away, Frank? What we giving away, brother?
Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah.
So you guys hear that? Frank say, let's do a giveaway tonight. So I guess we're going to do a giveaway. So I know you guys are pretty happy about that in the chat.
All right. One of them is going to be, I'm going to do 2 giveaways actually. One of them is going to be a 10 pack of seeds, regular. It's the Bubblicious crossed with the animal cookies. And a friend just because I had some issues with some bad nutrients in my greenhouse, so I had stopped all sales because I wasn't sure if it was just me or if it was the seeds or what. I couldn't, me, man, I gotta keep it real. I keep it real with the community, and I tell them exactly what's going on. So I told everybody, I can't sell you seeds right now because I don't know if it was just my nutrients or if it's the seeds. So I needed to make sure, and for sure it was the nutrients. One of my buddies has the seeds, and they're doing fantastic in his garden. He has no problems. None of the problems that I was dealing with these nutrients, where I just left them in the sun, and that's just something that happens. You leave nutrients in the sun and it cooks them. They start separating and doing weird shit. So, anyways, so that's one prize is gonna be the pack of balloon animals, and then the second prize, I ain't even gonna tell you what it is. I'm just gonna send it out. We're gonna leave it like that. I ain't even gonna tell y'all what it is, but it's good. It's a good prize. That's right. You'll enjoy it. You probably enjoy it for a whole day, maybe even a couple more days after that. But it ain't no fucking seeds.
All right. No, that's right. Let's see. Let me pull up this. We're going to do random numbers, a random number generator. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's see. What's the number we're going to choose? Give me a range. So we're going to do 2. We're going to do 2 of them, right? You're going to do 1 and 1. So I'll do it twice, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead and choose. What's the numbers?
Dirty. He might have stepped away for a minute.
Probably stepped away.
All right. Well, that's cool. I'll tell you what we can do. Hey, yo, hard work, cuz. You out there in the chat. Pick a range of numbers, hard work, cuz. I need a range of numbers.
No. All right. Well, we're just gonna do 0 to 350.
Okay, he said 0 to 350, so that's what we're gonna do. 0 to 350.
That's going for the balloon animals. Whenever you're ready to start, go ahead and go.
All right, so we're gonna say we'll start it now and we'll run it for a minute. So start now, and it's 12:38. So 12. Well, my time 12:39. We'll say stop at 12:39. I'll type it in the chat. Well, we'll give you 40 more seconds because obviously it's 12:39 now. So go ahead, chat. And you only get one number. One number. One number.
If you put in 2 numbers, you're gonna get disqualified. MWG, come on, bruh.
Hey, Josh Warrior, you might want to pick another number. Look like the American one picked that first. Yo, Mr. Sparkalot, what it do, brother?
What up, Mr. Sparks? You never know when Mr. Sparks is gonna pop up on you.
All right.
You could be on some random channel on somebody will have like 50 subscribers, some obscure ass channel, and Mr. Sparks will pop up on your ass.
Right. All right. Stop. Any numbers after I put stop? No more. Okay, so here we go. All right. Sorry, fellas, if you're putting numbers in now, a little bit behind. All right, here we go. I'm going to show my screen. Hold on. I'm going to show my screen. Put this up first. And then we'll go over. I'm just figuring this out. All right, here we go. I'm going to show my screen. Screen share. You want to do this one?
Yeah, I can't even. I don't see.
All right.
See.
Do you see the number generator?
No, I see a black screen.
Oh.
I see you moving the your cursor around. I can see your cursor, but I don't see the actual page.
All right.
I don't know. I smashed on it.
Damn it, the hell.
Yep. Y'all gonna have to just take our word for it.
It might have to, man. It might have to because this shit ain't working right.
No, because I mean I can see your cursor. I can see your screen sharing. That's for sure.
All right.
You were screen sharing, not anymore, but you were a sec ago. I could see you moving.
Are
the
my
mouse
screen
around.
sharing now?
No.
Yeah.
There you are. There you go.
All right. What about now?
Yeah, you're on. Go to random. There you go.
There we
You're
go.
on.
All right.
You're on.
So we're going to generate the number. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you, Hangouts.
Whoa, look at that. 348. 348. So let's take a look at 348 real quick.
Let's see who got it.
Go to the.
So far, Gold Diamond is the closest one. He's at 350.
Who was so far?
Gold Diamond at 350.
All right.
Chat, thank you for sticking with us so long. I know there's only 3 of us on here.
I don't see
Y'all
anybody
always
else
rocking with us, man. Thank y'all.
I don't see anybody that's close to that. I see a
2 people
333.
I see another 350, John Vidal.
All right, so who was first?
John Vidal threw it down first. Hold up.
John Vidal was first?
233.
Yeah, hold on. High Wally got 333. What was it, 345?
350. Who's that
348.
350 up there?
343, you said?
348.
348, my bad.
There's a 350 up there.
Sky Dweller, nope. Sky Dweller's got 347.
Yep.
Okay.
He's the closer. He's within 1.
Yep.
What about 350? How far is 350?
That's
no,
2.
that's within 1. That's 2.
347 is within 1.
Yep.
So it looks like Sky Dweller. My man Sky Dweller got one. All right. Shout out to Sky Dweller. Congratulations.
Bro.
All right. Now you guys, you are aware you have to pay for your own shipping, right? So I'm gonna, if you can't pay for your shipping, which it's not a lot, dude, $5 if you can't afford $5, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But let me know. Here's my I'm gonna type in my my email right there. There's my email right there. Get at me. Yeah, you guys didn't know? You know what I mean? I'm already giving you.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? Shit.
All right, so here we go with round 2. All right, so
yeah, because
Daniel,
it's not it's not just the pack of seeds. You feel me? It's 2. I'm giving away 2 different things.
So
and
Daniel,
yes,
you weren't here, but he picked you. So pick a range of numbers, brother.
Oh, all right. Like the homie said last time, Dan and Dirtman Dan, 1 through 420.
All right, 1 through 420. We'll put that in, and we are gonna go Let me see. It's 12:45. Start now. Pick your numbers between 1 and 420.
Hey, Black G. Hey, Black G in here. You gonna come down here finally? You finally gonna come down and visit, motherfucker?
Right.
I've been knowing this dude for damn near 2 years now. I go to his house all the time. He ain't never been to my house. But hey, shit. Call me later, Black G. Let me know what we gonna do. And I doubt that you'll have that ready. But anyways, yeah, get at me.
Paulo, what to do?
Wait till 12:47 and then I'll type stop.
Oregon Bud Man, what's going on, sir?
All right, I hit the button, so stop. Any numbers after? Oh, my man.
All right.
And generate the number. Blood down, big baby. 239.
239.
239. So let's go up to mine.
I see 233 Liberator.
Yep, right before I put stop. Yep, 233 with Liberator. $240. You got 240 Blue Glass Connection. 240.
Oh man, I think that's the homie, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the homie.
I think that's it, yo.
Blue Glass. He's got the C's at 240. Congratulations.
He got the mystery. He got the mystery.
You got the mystery, the potluck beans. I feel you.
No, they ain't no. Yeah, they ain't no. It's not seeds.
Okay. I got you. So
It's
make sure you
seeds.
get at him. Make sure you get at Frank. And you'll know what it is when you get it. So Bluegrass. Make sure, Bluegrass. Frank, get his email address. Hit him up. You pay shipping, and it's coming your way.
Awesome. Oh yeah, congratulations, guys.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. Any other questions? I mean.
Yeah, I didn't even ask the chat if they had any questions. Chat, you got any questions you guys want to ask Frank?
Yeah.
Or any of us, or any questions, or
anything.
Anything.
See, we out here now.
So hell yeah. Like, so you say you do beds outdoor, right? Do you know? Do you like before you start your beds every season or every round? Do you re-prep your soil, or do you just rerun it and continue to run it that way?
I continuously run it, but I'm always adding microbes. Every run I'll add microbes, and every run I try to, or every other run, should I say, I try to add worms.
Okay, nice.
So
because I have a garden that I'm starting outside, a little vegetable garden, and every time I start it, I make it like a mini hugel mound, I guess, inside of the bed. I'll lay a whole bunch of bark and dead tree, like bark and trees and old roots all at the bottom, and then I'll just cover them up with grass clippings, let that mulch over, and then I'll cover that with dirt and just let it do its thing from there. And the last time I did it, I had a badass experience with it, so I'm thinking that's a pretty good way to go, and it saves a lot on nutrients.
Yeah, the amendments definitely help. They're cheaper than buying bottles for sure.
Hi Wally wanted to know, Frank. He wanted to know. He says he's growing in Tuport cocoa.
Yeah.
He says if you would recommend an organic amendment that might carry veg.
Probably like seaweed. I would say something like seaweed, kelp, or something like that. I don't know if he's trying to get a dry amendment or if he's trying to use a something in a bottle. So I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not sure what he's into. You could use alfalfa meal.
Yeah.
Fish emulsions is pretty dope, bro. From Alaskan Fish.
Yeah, that shit works. That shit work.
I use,
but if you use the
I think, right?
Yeah, the 511. They have the bloom too, but if you go just slightly heavy on the bloom, man, your shit's gonna fucking herm out bad.
Yeah, I just use the veg for veg all the way through in a little bit of bloom.
I use the Neptune Harvest, their organic fish and seaweed fertilizer. It's a 2-3-1. That's the one I use. And I tell you what, man, that shit's killer in veg, man. Killer in veg. Okay, Oregon Bud, man, how much cow mag do I flush my greenhouse beds with? Yeah, okay.
No cow mag.
All right, somebody, let me see if I find a serious question. Okay, John Vital. Is Happy Frog and okay soil for growing? I would say yes. And the reason why I say that because I use their Ocean Grow. I use their Fox Farms Ocean Force sometimes.
Yo, what up, guys? Sorry I'm late to
What's
the party.
up, Perp? It's all good, man. It's all good. Mr. Sparks a lot. Mr. Spark a lot. He wants to know how many dabs could a dabber dab if a dabber could dab dabs?
I'm gonna go with.
I guess we have to ask. We have dabber.
At least 7.
Dab time.
At least 7.
I don't know. Where's Mr. Owl at? Ask Mr. Owl.
Right. Yeah, everybody's telling them alpha mill works pretty good. Alfalfa mill works pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I it does help. But you have to make sure that you have, good soil, basically soil biology in life, because otherwise it's just gonna basically sit there. It's gotta break down, it's gotta convert into food.
Word.
Do you use that bokashi?
I do not.
Or make your own? No. I'm
I
curious
throw hella
about
shit
that.
in my
I've
bed.
seen a lot of people use.
Yeah, I used it in my beds that one time.
Say what?
Legal.
Isn't it just microbes, basically? Different type of fungus?
Yeah, basically. Well, we got our organic no-till guy on the panel right now. Go ahead, Perp. What is bokashi?
I'm not the no-till guy. I'm all, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm a biologist, but I'm not the no-till guy, right?
Hey,
I do a lot of outdoor stuff.
You more of a no-till guy than I am, brother. You know more about it than I do, bro.
Daniel's more of the no-till than me, but I don't know. I mean, probably a better suited question for someone else. But bokashi, right? Isn't that just like basically like fermented like table scraps or whatever, and then you just using the juice as like a nutrient / micro pollution.
Yeah, but you can also, I think you can also dress the top of your soil with the fully composted material afterwards. But yeah, from what I understand, it's just another fungus.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
it's just for the roots and shit, like an inoculant.
We need some of the other heads on here.
Once you get into breaking down other plant matter and other things like that, the juices that come out of there, are readily available nutrients for the plants.
Right. I do know that much. I've heard him talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's just I mean, in essence, I'm kind of doing a type of bokashi, I guess you could say, because I add like wood shavings to my bed. Aside from cocoa, I added peat moss. I add alfalfa, actual, like I top dress with alfalfa. You know, I add wood chips. I add just microbes and funguses and all kinds of stuff that I know that is just good for the plants. You know, I just want good soil activity. I added some I forgot where the hell I got those. Some website that I ordered. They're beneficial nematodes. I ordered those. I already had the little springtails. You know, I don't know if you ever seen the tiny, tiny little white things, and they look like they're bouncing around on your soil.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
And they're not bad for your plants or nothing. They're called springtails, but those things are, you know, I've got those and all kinds of other cool bugs that are good for the plants.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, nice to meet you, bro. Frank Yeska, fucking Nuevo Purple here. Nice to have you on our panel tonight. Thank you very much for coming on.
Nice to meet you. It's definitely a pleasure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Likewise. I want to say what's up to the chat real quick. The homie Tony Baloney, my homie Soil Biota Guru, Perma Warrior, fucking all the homies up in the chat, fucking Orgrown, Budman. Fuck, who else is up in here? All kinds of heads tonight. Have a good chat going on. Texas OG, MH23D. or 00, George Malone, Vision Creator, what up, homie? Plant Builder, of course, upper mids, fuck the world. That's right, dog. Fuck the world, upper mids all the way.
Plant Builder. I was in this bitch rocking it out.
Fuck yeah. All the homies.
That's what's
Texas
up.
OG. What it do?
So here's I got a question for people, like what their opinion is on this. So we're using all these funguses to grow our plants, right? For fungal activity in our soil and whatnot. Can we do the same thing with hallucinogenic mushrooms and grow mushrooms and help our plants at the same time?
I was just gonna say that, bro, because I mixed up some seed sprout tea. I mixed up some seed sprout tea with frass and seed castings, and I fed it to them, and it fucking went nuts with mycelia, bro, and like little thick ass fucking like heads of mycelia were growing all over the cocoa. So it's pretty
Vision
dope.
Creator says yes, you can.
And it's all.
That would be dope. 2 for 1, baby.
Hell yeah, that should be nice.
MH23 says, warning, excess can change the pH of your soil, which probably could. I could see that. But if you got a nice buffer like clamshells or something like that, I think you'd be all right. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using worms, the worms will the worm castings will help stabilize that pH, and then you can use other amendments to stabilize your pH, or you could just fucking pH your water before you water. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. True that.
So
True that.
I mean, good to know. But I mean, I just wanted to know if I could, you know, get a double harvest. You feel? That'd be cool.
He said, "Get that double harvest." I know that's right.
Do you mess with KNF, Franks?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay, cool. No, it's you go ahead, Perp. You can explain it better.
No, my bad. You go on. You go on.
You can explain it a lot better than I can. It's gonna sound kind of.
KNF, you probably have heard of it, Korean Natural Farming. It's basically taking things that are readily available to you in your environment and like fermenting them using sugar to make them more bioavailable. nutrients, and also, you know, to inoculate or to cultivate beneficial bacteria and fungi. And then it's just like having these ferments around, and then you basically just strain them off, and you have like bioavailable plant food essentially.
Yeah. So you just basically choose, like, for example, if you were going to go in bloom, you put a bunch of bananas and other stuff that have more potassium in them, and that's how you make your bloom nutrients.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
No, I was just asking, bro, to see if you were like, you know, messing with any of that with your grows, any of your grows, or
I have
what was
not.
the way that you feed?
No, I'm still, you know, I mean, I try and go, you know, somewhat organic for the most part. But here's really what I do, man. I try and set up a nice organic bed that's not too hot, and then from there I'll still feed. I'll feed the first like 5 weeks, and then from there I just water, just straight water, and maybe some sugar a little bit, you know, for like a week or two, and that's it. You know, let the organics take over from there. My biggest thing is I smoke my weed. You know what I mean? And I'm really big about the flush. So that's
Yeah.
the reason why I went with a semi-organic kind of type of grow, because I like the organics. But when I've noticed that if I just do a straight organic grow, my yields are different. You know, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. They're cool. They're nice and everything. I'm not saying it doesn't yield when you go fully organic like that, but I noticed that if I do a combination of organics with a little bit of synthetics in there, it fucking just cakes on the fucking trichomes and the weight as well.
Okay. Yeah.
It
For
just
sure.
it just looks
I
different.
believe you. I've done that. Yeah, I believe you on that one.
That shit just looks different.
I feel that I've always personally kind of thought like I forget what maybe someone had dubbed it dirty what chemganic or some shit like that, but I always thought personally that was more of the way to go. But I know like a lot of like hippies and super organic heads, you know, obviously like to hate. They obviously like to hate and shit, but
No,
but
it's
yeah,
just
I'm all for whatever method, you know. I mean, I'm down for organics for sure, but you know, I'm not against synthetics or mixing both, so for sure.
hell yeah. Because I've been using this KNF, bro, and I guess it's the sugar and the inoculants, I think, or what was it that Captain said? The IMOs that are doing something to the plant that are, I guess, like picking up all the sugars and putting it towards the plants. So it's they're only about 4 weeks in, and they're a pretty good size. They still got a while to go. So, and I haven't been using. I've been so tempted to use the goddamn Florinova, bro, but I haven't. And I just been giving them straight OHN and a shitload of fucking fish, FFA and labs and fucking cow foss, all kinds of crazy shit, bro. And now I'm fucking surprised how that shit's been working. So I'm just asking, you know. I think it's the sugar though. The sugar is the sauce, bro.
Yeah, the sugars and the salts definitely make a huge difference. Because our plants, I mean, if you break it down, right, as to what we're really growing for, is we're growing for the trichome. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for, is the trichome. We're not really, I mean, yeah, the buds and all that shit, whatever, but you know, our main concern is the trichome. You know, that's what gets us high. And if you break that down on the molecular level, it's made out of sugar. So why wouldn't you feed your plant sugar? You know, there's all these lineups and shit, and you look at the lineup of the actual bottle nutrients, and they don't even have a sugar to go with their product, you know. And I know a lot of people, a lot of these organic heads will tell you that plants don't uptake sugar, that it's mostly for the microbes, I'm going to go ahead and wave the bullshit flag real high in the air because when I was growing synthetic, I was growing fully synthetic in grow down, no microbes, none of that shit. And it was just all synthetics. And when I started using a sugar, it was a game changer. And when I started using sugars, it was just like huge, big fucking difference. I started using liquid carboload, and I started using. We did a side by side to see what worked better, the Flora Nectar or the Bud Candy, and the Flora Nectar got it, and it's cheaper anyway. So that's why we went with the Flora Nectar. But we were doing that, and we had zero microbes, zero nothing. We didn't add. It was all hydro, Grodan, indoors, completely sealed room. And I mean, when we started adding the sugars into the reservoirs, it was like a huge, huge difference.
I was going to ask you, now I'm glad you brought that up because I got a good friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name, even though he's a trichome chaser, but I won't use sweeteners. I won't use sweeteners because I don't want all my stuff tasting the same. Do you guys agree with that? Using sweeteners, using sugar, sweeteners, does it make all your weed taste the same?
No, I don't agree with that. I think it depends on the sweetener. I think like what he's probably referring to mostly, and of course, no disrespect to the homie, he's the homie like fuck. But I think what he was referring to was like that Bud Candy, because I noticed a lot of heads were saying that like back in the day, the Bud Candy would make all your shit kind of smell and taste the same for some reason. But I don't think that's the case for all sweeteners or just using sugar in general, personally.
Yeah, I didn't think so neither. Now I've got a bottle of Bud Candy. Now it was a small bottle, a sample bottle. I've only used it once. But normally, what I use is Remo's nutrients. They're nature's candy. That's what I use. And Remo's, even though some people will tell you that believe in organics that you can't get bottled organics, Remo's is pretty much they're organic. I mean, they got approved for organic or not. But that's the only sweetener. Or I would use Humboldt honey, which is an organic. It's an organic base, and I would use that. But I didn't taste the same. I mean, to me, I think it enhances the flavor of the strain. I don't think all the strains taste the same. I think it just enhances the flavor of each individual one. I'm
tracking with you guys. You know, I do agree with you guys, but there is certain products out there that it's each plant will have a little bit of a variance to it because it has its own terpene profile. But if you go out and you get the Flora Nectar, they have the pineapple flavor, they have the fruit fusion, and then they have the grape. And those will, if the fruit fusion, you can't tell, right? That one's more like just a general sweetener kind of, you know, it just kind of gives you a nice sweetness across the board. But the pineapple one and the grape one, those motherfuckers will have your shit smelling all the same damn near. That's why I don't use that stuff, but I have experienced it, and that's why different people use the different flavors for certain strains. So if they're growing some purple, they'll use the grape, and if they're using, you know what I mean, they use the different one for their different strains because of that shit. But you know, it is generally your plants will still have their own terpene profile. If it smells the same, it might be because they have a similar genetic makeup. You know, they might be all a Kush, you know, or something. You never know.
I agree with Tony Baloney. He says feed him DMT. That'll get your shit popping for shout.
I mean, well, molasses. Why do people use molasses? In organic, people use molasses. Or why do you guys use molasses?
Well, and then real quick, I want to agree with Janishi in the chat. He says all the sweeteners can't be. I'm assuming he means can't beat just sugar.
Right. And
I'm like, yeah, I mean, sugar definitely, and it's more economical. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be using a sweetener, I would recommend just getting some sucanat or, you know, or some fucking organic sugar of some sort, unprocessed sugar. But
yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I think we'll see after this round, bro. I mean, we'll see if K&F and Cocoa is the way to go. So
you're trying the KNF in your cocoa. I heard it can be done.
yeah.
But personally, and again, I know that like organic heads, right? Like they're feeding their soil, and that makes sense. Like most all life forms, glucose is a simple form of energy, right? It's a simpler molecule, and easily. I don't know about easily, but obviously it's a large biochemical process. But it's be able to I'm at a loss for words over here, but it's basically sugar is able to be converted into high energy molecules that we use, you know what I mean? But most life uses sugar, and so I don't know about plants, but at least, you know, microbes, I would assume plants too, mammals, most animals, we all have glucose transporters, right? We literally have enzymes. Because of the size of the glucose molecule, it is a bit large to necessarily just permeate the plasma membrane or your lipid bilayer of your cell, and to go through there by diffusion. And so it's actually carried via certain enzymes through the cellular membrane,
Right.
where it then, you know, goes through all these different reactions to be converted into certain high energy molecules that we all use. So I would assume that that's the same. I would have to look more into it for plants, but I would assume plants do the same thing. So not only in organics are you feeding the microbes, but I would assume like that you would also be essentially feeding the plant if it's able to absorb that glucose and convert it into high energy carrying molecules.
Yeah, actually, I completely agree with that. And actually, somebody was chiming in that they use brown sugar, and I wanted to talk about basically using a granular type like brown sugar versus using like a corn syrup. And you know, they're both. I mean, corn syrup. I mean, yes, it's organic, but it's also man-made. You know, so you know, how do you feel about that? You know, I mean, in my opinion, the granular will help an organic setting more simply because of the activity that it, you know, it's small, slow activity, but it's some activity as the sugar breaks down, the little basically crystally shards in your bed will move slowly and create activity as well. So I mean, how do you feel about that, using granular versus you know, like something like liquid like corn syrup?
That's a good question. I think that I think someone in the chat, hold on, I'll have to go back here, but they were talking about different sugars, dextrose, fructose, etc. And I'd have to agree, right? Like not all sugars are the same thing. So like fructose, for example, is the exact chemical, it has the exact same chemical formula as glucose, but it's like the beta isomer or whatever. So that does affect probably how sugars are uptaken. So like where corn syrup, for example, could be more fructose based, which again, I'm not sure how exactly, you know, possibly organisms may be adapted and have certain enzymes to take up different sugars, but I'm not 100%, not that big into biochem. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about the granular versus liquid sugars personally. Maybe in a theoretical way, I'd probably maybe agree with you about the granular, or I don't know if that's what you were saying, but about the granular possibly being a little bit better. Just for the fact that it has larger surface area. And again, if you're in soil, it doesn't really matter because microbes have a lot of stuff to cling on to as like a substrate. But I guess it could act as a substrate for microbes to dwell on as well as feed on.
Well, what I was referring to as far as activity was I was doing it's what the hell's the guy's name? I forgot his name, but the channel on YouTube is Living Food Web, I believe. I think it's Living Food Web for the and it's not about weed, it's just more about soil. and what they were saying is that as soil and everything, as it decomposes and as it settles, the granules of sugar will basically move they're moving slowly, and they're dropping and settling with the rest of the organic matter, and the fact that they're sharp and kind of like shards, like crystally pieces, like little stones, and they're breaking away, and it causes a certain type of activity in the soil as they rub or some shit like that. I kind of caught on to it, but it's been a while since I heard the video that I was looking at. But they were talking about keeping proper sugars in your soil in order for the microbes and the funguses to feed and take off, and they were talking about granular versus liquid, and they were saying that when you're doing organics, as your bed decomposes, that the granules of the sugar will cause some type of activity that's beneficial. I don't fucking know. I was trying to
my bad. I don't mean to laugh at you. Someone in the chat on Ontario Hashish says Americans will find a way to use sugar on everything. Now y'all putting it on your potted plants. He said.
Fuck yeah, hey, for real, seriously.
Dog, fuck you, bro. I love my sugar, dog. I'm going out, baby. Yeah. Type 2 diabetes all the way, homie.
Hell yeah, I just invented a new type 6.
And I'm over here drinking some fucking soda, talking about putting sugar on my plant. I got some fucking sweetened blunts over here and shit. I got sugar on my blunts.
Right.
You right about the brown sugar though, man. The brown sugar is the shit, because it something about the brown sugar, man, and the fermentating that makes it.
I think it's how it breaks it down. I think that's what I think. I think that's how it breaks it down.
Get so fucking active, man. It's crazy. Some kind of reaction.
Am I still sharing my screen? What the hell?
Oh, I don't know.
No, you're not.
All right.
You were doing it for a very long time, though.
I thought I was.
Yeah, it was a video of me, basically.
I was like, man, I hope the porn don't pop up. I got a little porn stash.
You got a virus on your computer.
Yeah, bro.
Porn pop up.
He done gave his fucking computer AIDS and shit.
Right. Got that midget wrestling on there, man. I don't want anybody to see that. Yeah, but it's a good show. But yeah, I that's why I just had to ask, because people were talking about using sweeteners and sugars and different like things like that, and and I'm like, okay, well, organic guys have been using molasses and different things and KNF and different things like that, and it can't be. It's got to have some type of benefit to it. And I don't believe it would make. I believe, like you said, the strain depends.
The molasses has a little bit of potassium in it too, in case y'all didn't know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Huh. Real quick,
you get what is it though? You have to get is it the unsulfured, or what is it? Is the
I don't know, bro. All I know is I was talking to some fucking guy that he goes to the hydro shop that I go to, and he's this dude's a scientist, basically. Long story short. But he was telling me about that he had to factor in that he was using molasses because he was throwing his NPKs off because of the molasses.
Oh, interesting. People are saying unsulfured blackstrap in the chat.
Yeah, that's it right there.
But real quick, Texas OG had some good information. Trying to scroll up. Where did he say here? He was basically saying that as the sugar travels, basically talking about what we were talking about, Frank. He was saying that as the sugar travels, it leaves a trail for other molecules to attach to, which I don't know about that, but I would say as a biologist that, like I was saying before, that the sugar, and that's a good point, probably as it travels, it's breaking down, but the sugar itself is selecting, right? It's literally causing a selection pressure for microbes. So yeah, or at least it's a readily available food source, right? So it's causing microbes to be attracted to that certain region of the soil, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So it's like a big ass fucking
It's
chemical
their little
reaction
feeding ground.
of
It's their feeding
biology that's
ground.
going on in the cocoa, right? Everything's just working off each other and basically making the plant uptake everything in a better way somehow.
Yeah, be on the lookout for our sugar water line coming soon.
Oh yeah, coming out with it. Hey, we go
Trikes in a bottle.
cannabis
Trikes in a
infused
bottle.
sugar water line. Hell yeah, trikes in the trikes in the bottle.
That shit's funny. But yeah, if you trip off of advanced nutrients, their liquid carb load, it says on the fucking bottle, it says cannabis cup winning nutrients. All right. And really seriously, like a lot of the people that go to win, to try and win a cup, they'll fucking use that product before they go, to the show, for that batch. If they don't use it all the time, they'll use it for that batch. And I actually spoke to a few people that did that shit just to try and be more competitive. That, or they'll use a hard finisher, like so that how your fucking buds, how your buds, like sometimes you'll get those little fingers, the little knobbies when it's crowning and shit.
Yeah.
Well, they'll use the PGRs, the hard finishers, to get those little things to fill in so they don't snap off so easy. But if you notice, a lot of times you'll get the little chuffs, which are like the beginnings of seeds. They're not seeds. They're just the very, very base. You know how like on the seed, how it's got the point to it, and then it's got the other part where it was attached to the plant. Well, the part where it's attached to the plant, it's very common to run into that when people are using the hard finishers, because they're either going too hard with them or they're stressing the plant out. You know what I mean? That's why I'm kind of against that shit.
What do you mean? My bad. I didn't really follow you. I've been drinking a few beers tonight too, so that doesn't help. But.
No, it's cool. All right, so hard finishers like fucking Moab, for example. You ever heard of Moab?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so they're called the actual name of them are called PGRs, right? There's different brands, but they're called PGRs. They're
right,
also
plant growth regulators.
Yeah, the fucking they're hard finishers or whatever. People use them just to get that extra weight, that extra density out of their buds. But I noticed that oftentimes you'll get just the base of the seed. It's not seeded out, but it's just got the little fucking chuff, the little base of before the seed actually forms into a seed, and it's just fucking all through the fucking plant.
Like big calyxes?
Yeah, kind of like how like when a plant pops dicks, it'll pop the little bananas.
Yeah.
It'll do that really, really late in flower, right? To the point where it's too late in flower to develop seeds, but it'll be enough to develop the little chuffs, basically. So it'll pollinate itself because you're stressing the plant out so much that it's popping, the little bananas, and it's just, I just see it eat. And not trying to call anybody out, but I've seen that shit in some purple punch already once, and I've seen it in a couple other strains too.
That's interesting. So you're saying the PGR stress the plant out to the point of hermaphroditing?
Yes. And I've seen it a few times. So that's why I
could see that. Word.
That's interesting. I never noticed it.
So if you and really, I mean, if you use them correctly, you'll be fine. But one little, one plant that doesn't take it, so well, and it's gonna pollinate your whole fucking crop. That's why I don't like playing with it like that, because I rely on my meds.
Right. What I'm doing right now, this run that I got in the flower tent right now, I'm not using any sweeteners on this run at all. I'm gonna try. I just want to see if there really is a difference in it, overall difference.
I think Oregon Budman said he wants some of those herm seeds.
He said somebody who's gonna make a meme about something.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh man, we're sitting at 126. Well, you know, all good things must come to an end. If I'm gonna call our show. Frank, I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was great having you on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you guys. One love to the chat and to the panel.
Hell yeah, dog.
Again.
For sure. Thanks for coming on, bro. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. And to everybody who, to the 2 people that won, just, you know, hit me up. I'm going to type in my email one more time before we cut out to make sure everybody got their shit. And there's my email, or you can find me on Instagram, Frank_Yeska. And yeah, get at me, man. If you guys need anything else, you know, let me know. Everybody,
before I go, before we go, hey, I just want to give a huge shout out. Trichome Chaser, hard work, cuz I just got to give that shout out to him, man. Hard work is our newest Trichome member chaser, our newest Trichome Chaser member. So I wanted to give him a shout out. You know, welcome aboard, man. I've been following this cat for almost a year now. I've talked to him a few times. The brother's a really cool dude. Not only that, he's a good grower, man. I've seen his crops, man. I've seen what he does, man. He's a really good dude. So I just want to give him a shout out and say welcome aboard, man. Glad to have you.
Hell yeah. Much respect. Hard work, cuz. Look forward to chatting, bro.
For sure. And thanks for helping out. Thanks for helping out with the chat today. I seen him in there putting in work.
Also, anybody in the chat, we do have on Google Hangouts, we do have a Trichome Chaser subscriber chat going right now. Condo Growers part of it. Bluegrass is part of it. Who else was in here tonight? Somebody else was in here tonight as part of our you're more than welcome. If you guys want to get in, we talk about grow life, regular life. We talk about everything. You know, if you guys want to get in on that, just shoot me. My Instagram is Kind Buffalo with a 0. Shoot me a message, DM me. Let me know if you guys want to get in that chat. And like I said, man, we just in our website. Check out our forums. Sign up for our forums on our website. I know we're starting to get back onto that and continue. We're going to start being more vigilant on that on our website. Trichome Chaser TV. I believe it's TrichomeChaserTV.net. No, TrichomeChasers.net, I believe. But look us up, sign up, join us.
It's TrichomeChasers.tv.
Yeah, TrichomeChasers.tv. There you go. So look us up, join it, man. Like I said, you guys, we just like, you know, we like being around you guys. You know, we like hanging out with you guys, chopping up with you guys. You know, and so that's the reason why I made that forum, that chat. So, you know, you guys, any questions, or if you guys have any ideas about shows that you want us to do, people that you want us to get on the show, topics for the shows, you know, that'd be a perfect place to hit us. So definitely want to do that. But Andrea, hey, glad to see you, Andrea. But yeah, so like I said, man, we're going to end the show tonight. Frank, like I said, Purple said, and Daniel said, it was great having you on. We're definitely going to do this again. Thanks again for my Escalade Kush cuts, man. Oh man, my Escalade. Oh man, I'm ecstatic about them too, right there. I really appreciate it.
One love, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good night, everybody. One love to the chat and everybody that showed up.
All right. Well, this is Trichome Chasers, and we are going to sign out. Peace, love to the chat. Stay tuned next weekend. I do believe next weekend we're going to do our no-till / organic segment. I'm going to see if I can get Josh Stevens to come on the show. See if I get a couple other guys. I think there was what's the other guy that does it? Something World.
World's One Shot.
Yeah, let's see if we can get in touch with him.
Or World's Last Hope.
Yeah, World's Last Hope. Yeah. So we get in touch with him. If anybody else that's pretty good with organics, no till, hit us up in the TrichomeChasers Hangouts chat or hit me up on my DM on Instagram, and we'll see about getting you guys on the show. So with that being said, good night. Stay blessed, stay medicated, and we'll holler.